Today we are going to build a germination chamber. We're not really sure how we're gonna do it, but we have a free fridge in our outbuilding, and in theory, we should have all the supplies kicking around the house. So we're gonna set that up. We're gonna start some onion seeds and make a go of this new year. Going into our third year of farming, we want to grow twice as much. We want to sell twice as much. The farm is going to look so beautiful once it greens up a bit. But if we are going to do that, if we're going to achieve these goals, then we need to make sure that we're growing lots. And so we need to be on the ball for seed starting. And we really feel this germination chamber is going to help kick our organization and seed starting up another notch. It's gonna make things a lot easier. The idea of the germination chamber is we take a crock pot and we put it in the bottom of the fridge. And then filled with water, turned on, it produces heat and humidity, which then steams up the insulated space of the fridge, and it makes the seeds germinate really fast because it's ideal conditions.
The thing you need to know about free fridges is that there is a reason that they are free, and the reason this one is free is because it kind of smells bad. Serina still hasn't told me exactly how many shelves she wants. I think as many as possible.
You know, there's space on the sides. What if we just made a shelf that fits in, and then all the trays just sit in, right? It just has to be a box. Then we don't have to worry about drilling into this. It's just a bookshelf.
Sweeping out the fridge.
A little bit of backstory to why I came up with doing this germination chamber idea. Last year, I grew seedlings in our bathroom, and it got very, very humid and very hot in there, and it started to get moldy in the bathroom. And Ian got very, very mad at me. We did a big reno in our bathroom. It looks very beautiful now, and Ian has laid down the law. I am not allowed to grow mold in here. So the idea with the fridge is I can get it to 100% humidity, and if I grow mold, then I don't get in trouble because it's inside the dirty old fridge, and then I can keep our bathroom beautiful and still sneak some seedlings in here once they're past that high humidity phase. What I really need to be germinating right now is all the lisianthus seeds that I got from Johnny's, but I'm very paranoid about messing them up. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna do a calibration run. I am gonna start up some trays of onions. I'm gonna start some onions from seed, and I'm gonna keep a thermometer inside the fridge so I can keep checking, see what kind of temperatures it's getting to, see if the system's gonna work out properly before I risk my very expensive seeds in there. But the experiment should only take 2 or 3 days, so we'll still have lots of time to get these going.
Whoa. We found something that's gonna work really well. This is some piece of shelving that was somewhere in here, and this is gonna work perfect. This is gonna be our shelving. And I got these bolt cutters, so we're gonna cut it down to size. These will make short work of it, you know, like with these types of things you can cut. You cut through anything, really.
Where are you? I can't even see you.
Hiding in the corner. Found some old bad wood.
My favorite.
It's all bendy, so it should be fun to work with. I know what has to go on in the back, so I'm gonna start there, cut those pieces. I just don't want to do it and then have, you know, there's all these like little protrusions and weird angles, so I don't want to like put it all together and then start putting it in and find out that it doesn't fit for some reason. So I'm just gonna kind of work it little bit by little bit.
Even though it's winter, and you would think we would have way more workspace inside here right now, This area is getting really crowded. I still have lots of dried flowers out on my work table. We're storing a bunch of window trim, interior and exterior window trim for a job that we have coming up. So there's not much space. I need to clean a spot so I have somewhere to get seedlings potted up without making a mess on things that probably shouldn't get wet soil dumped all over them. This is pretty much the story of my life. Piles of gloves and loose garlic cloves everywhere. What do we have here?
We have something that I like to call progress. You know, the more wood we put in there, the more spot there is for mold to grow.
Yeah.
You're too late. You're too late for all the action. I was smashing and crashing stuff, doing my test fit. It's looking pretty good. It's coming together. I figured out what I'm gonna do. That kind of looks
pretty good. Some progress?
Nope. There's reverse progress.
Really?
My creation is finished. I think it's gonna work out pretty well. Let's see how it fits in the fridge, or should I say, the germination chamber. It fits perfectly, so I'm gonna categorize that as good enough for now. I'm gonna go have a bite to eat, and then we got some more projects here to do.
Now we just need to get some seedlings in there and a thermometer in there so we can see what this thing's gonna do. We are gonna start up some onion seeds for two reasons. Reason number one is I need to figure out what is actually going on inside that fridge when the door is closed and the magic is happening. If it's getting too hot, I don't want to risk my lisianthus in there getting cooked and killed. Whereas my onions, I have no plans on growing onions. So I'm more than happy to kill them before I kill things that actually do matter. And then reason number two is I am obsessed with starting onions. I do this time of year, every year. This is the perfect time to start onions. And I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna grow them, but I better just like start a couple trays anyways. And I'm doing this again. I use the seedling sale as the perfect excuse for growing them because I'm like, I can just sell them at the seedling sale. Ian's like currently laughing at me because he's heard this song and dance before. But also I want to briefly talk to you guys about onions. Here is an onion. Here's one of those onions that I started last year that I said I wasn't gonna grow, and I did end up growing them. And as you can see, you know, pretty solid onion. It's still nice and firm and happy. It's a good long keeper, so success. But I never was successful at growing onions until I started growing them from seed. Prior to doing them from seed, I'd always grown them from sets, which are those like little tiny baby bulbs that you buy in the mesh bags at the nurseries in the spring, and you poke them into the ground and you cross your fingers. And for me here in Kelowna, what would happen is they'd grow really nicely, they'd be coming along, and then we'd all of a sudden get really hot, beautiful dry weather in June, and the onion would just send up a flower, and I would never get a bulb for me to take inside and eat and enjoy. Onions are biennials. That means that they go to seed every second year. They have like a 2-year lifespan. So when you buy those sets have actually already had a year. When you plant them, they're in their second year. So they are a lot more susceptible to going to seed. If I was to plant this onion out of my garden come spring, this would produce a flower and seeds, and it's the same idea with those little baby bulbs. Whereas when you plant the onion from seed, its entire job in that first year of its life is to make as big of a bulb as possible so it can make as many seeds when it goes to flower in that second year. So I have always had amazing success when I do my onions direct from seed. The only catch is you need to start them really early. I usually start them a couple weeks earlier than my tomatoes, but their light requirements are a lot lower. I don't have to give them my top shelf best of the best light. I can give them very sad, very pathetic light and still have them grow. Or what I did before I started growing seedlings for the seedling sale is I used to buy them at the nursery, already grown, like what I am saying right now, I'm going to be selling at my seedling sale because I'm not allowed to keep these onions. I'm not allowed to do it again this year. Fatty's gonna be in heaven having us starting seeds because it means I'm gonna be coming down here multiple times a day to hang out with him and to give him snuggles.
Yep. Okay, what's up next?
I have my seedling trays. I have my seeds. I have my entire bag of onions. Apparently I have a whole bag of them. What I need now though is dirt, and that is very awkward. So Ian, please put down the camera and go get dirt for me.
We got a new trailer. I'm not sure if we've shown the YouTube audience this much yet. Yeah, the price was right on it, so we are pretty excited about it. It is slightly more used than gently used, but it's perfect for us. And right now, to clear out some space in our shop, we stored all of our potting soil and it's just some of our chicken supplies and some of the other big bulky things. What we're planning on doing with this beautiful trailer is we're going to turn it into our walk-in cooler. So we're going to kind of like line the walls with insulation and just kind of frame all that in, frame in a door out front here so that there's kind of like a second door when you open this up. And then we're going to install an air conditioner with a cool bot that we already have at the front. And bingo bango, we're going to have ourselves a nice sized walk-in cooler so that we can not have to harvest everything the night before market.
We have a mountain of potting soil already. We went and we started getting stocked up on this stuff. How many did you buy? 12?
I think 12.
12? Yeah, we go through a lot of potting soil with all the seedlings that we do. So it is reassuring to me to have lots on hand because even though it seems like a lot, once I start potting up, it disappears pretty quickly. So let's get one of these inside so that we can do just that. Start with the potting.
Oh, I love moving these.
I love you moving these. Is it wet outside?
Too cold for kittens?
Is it wet and snowy? What about you, buddy? Being bad, trying to destroy the kid's snowman.
No, I was trying to make for a dramatic shot on camera.
I'm excited. This is a new brand of potting soil. We buy our soil from the Grow Up shop. People always think that's hilarious, but it's the ultimate source for indoor growing. It's where we also get all of our lights because they're all about growing inside year round. They're also a great resource for microgreens knowledge. But more importantly for me, they sell grow lights and they sell potting soil. When my farm stores are like, are you crazy? No one does seedlings now. Fools. But yeah, so I'm excited. This is like a pre-mixed. It already has fertilizer, so I don't have to fuss with it, so I'm excited to see what it's like. Looks nice. It's fine. Should be perfect for starting seeds. Beautiful. Gotta fill up the seedling trays. Gotta take my gloves off for this. Okay, so I got some trays filled up. I got some onions. You know what, there's a pretty small hole in here. So I'm gonna do this whole tray with early yellow globe. And I have it labeled, so I know later. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sprinkle onion seeds all over this tray. This is like the most technical seeding you'll ever see done. The seed is older, so I'm gonna majorly overseed it, because onion seeds are one of the few seeds that actually has like a fairly short shelf life. But the seed is like, now it's the 3rd year. Last year still had like 70% germination, so I'm sure it's still gonna work. But we want lots. We want like 1 million little babies in each one of these cells. And worst case scenario, if there's too many, I can come and like have onion microgreens. These are really, really surprising. I was looking at the package, it's saying like, oh, a good long keeper. And what, like, I forgot I even had these. I was down here the other day, found like 3 bins of them. And we didn't grow these as storage onions. We sold most of the onions that we grew in the farm. So I was glad to have them because we had no onions in the kitchen. But yeah, like no issues, no rot in them. They red marble, a long keeper as promised on the package. I only have a half tray's worth. So what I'm gonna do to let myself know that I only have a half tray of red onions is this is like a grease pen, so it shouldn't fade out. But I was trying to do it on the wet trays earlier and it didn't like the wet. But yeah, I'm gonna draw this line. And then this is gonna mean that like this is the line at which I'm growing something else. And then I'm gonna label this side with a different name. Probably, I don't know. Let's see, what else do we got? What else is in this bag of onions? Hey, look at that. There's not very many in here. Another divider. Then more of this. These are gonna be popular at the seedling sale. I can feel it.
You better be. Seed pile right there. Nothing but perfection for Serina.
We're all about precision and accuracy here at Red Roof Family Farm. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a layer of potting soil on top to keep these seeds nice and moist. And make it so when I go to water them, I don't just wash all the seeds away.
How many onion seeds did you buy this year?
I bought 0. I actually bought 0 onion seeds. There's something I'm really excited about in the, oh, maybe it's not in here.
That was anticlimactic.
That was, okay, wait. Let's go to the seeds. Ian like never lets me talk about onions or anything seed related, so I have to brag to you guys about this exciting idea that I have. Okay, so I bought this last year. My plan is I want to do more perennial stuff on the farm, but all of 2020's plans got thrown out the window because of COVID, but 2021, I'm pretty excited to try to make this happen. So this is like a really fancy, really high production, really beautiful chive. This was the chives that I'm starting for the seedling sale are just like, you know, garden variety chives. These chives were expensive, so like $12, $13. And I think my other pack was like, you know, only a couple dollars. But I want to get a chive bed in the farm. And I think that they'd be great because we could do bunches of chives throughout pretty much the entire year. And then there'd also be like chive flowers. We brought chive flowers down to the market a couple times last year and the year before, and people were really excited about them. And they also are really good as like a edible flower. They're one of the few edible flowers that you actually want to eat. Yeah, so that's in my secret stash. It's so good that I didn't put it in with the onions because I'm not gonna grow any onions.
What about walking onions?
We're gonna obviously grow walking onions. I already have at least an entire 50-foot bed planted with walking onions, like as we speak. And I suspect, and that's not including my 50-foot mother bed, which is on the border of the flower farm. But I think I might actually have another half bed in the farm. So I have like, you know, tens of thousands walking onions planted, but they don't count.
Somebody watching this video right now is pulling their hair out.
Yeah, because of all the onion seeds that are just like falling everywhere. The last step, you water again. All the potting soils that we use here, you know, pretty much all the potting soils you get in Canada are all peat based, and it's always surprising how much water these potting soils need before they actually have enough moisture. So it is really important step to do that second water. One of my hopes with this germination chamber that we're building is that all of my stresses about the potting soil being moist enough to get good germination will be a little bit alleviated, because the humidity should be so high in there that, you know, just the humidity from the heat and the closed in sealed space should make it so I don't have to stress as much about, you know, having a dry pocket. What?
That was my face of you're taking too long to explain.
Yeah, you know what? People are like, Serina, I'm getting emails, I'm getting Instagram, everyone's like hitting me in the DMs, and they're all like, Serina, you said you were gonna make that potting soil video for us. Like, we need all the details about potting soil. So Ian can roll his eyes all he wants, but I know that these are the details that you guys are looking for in the videos. All right, since I'm so boring, what's so much more entertaining that you felt the need?
I have nothing to say. I have nothing to add.
Oh, so you have nothing of value to contribute.
Can you please stop wasting the time of all these nice people watching our videos, Serena?
This is the other part of the experiment, because lisianthus and eucalyptus also needs light to germinate. But I'm pretty sure that if you give them the, you know, like these ideal humidity temperatures, that they're still gonna crack, right? Like maybe they won't get to the point that it will be like green coming up, but I'll be able to see it. Like the germination chamber should still do what it needs to do. I might just need to pull it out before any leaves pop to get.
As soon as they germinate, they come out anyways, right?
What do you mean?
As soon as it germinates.
Oh yeah, so how the germination chamber works is as soon as you see anything at all happening, you pull them out because there's no light and you give them light. So as soon as like one has popped up, it means it's time to pull all the trays out because that means that all the other ones are shortly to follow.
Feels like the start of the farm season.
I know. Makes me feel so good to have all this like dirt and disgusting stuff start to ring the sink again. Make sure it's on. Got my dirt soup on to simmer. Okay. We close this up. And then we wait and we see. We're gonna go to bed now. Then we're gonna come back down here tomorrow morning. We're gonna check all our thermometers and hopefully this isn't too hot.
Farm season started.
Okay, we're back to see what's happening in this fridge. It's been about 12 hours and cool. It's very steamy. So, does that mean?
Yeah, that means it's like 150 degrees at least.
It's like hot.
It's like oven hot.
It's not gonna burn me, but it's like I can feel it's hot. Yeah, so this is saying that it's like 60 Celsius.
It's nice and humid.
Yes, it's definitely steamy in there.
We just gotta dial it in a little bit, you know?
Yeah, it's like evaporated off like an inch of water.
You know what the next attempt could be?
What?
Put one of those fish tank heaters.
Yeah, that's what I've seen. People putting the fish tank heaters inside a bucket of water because you can control the heat. I'm definitely glad that we are calibrating the thing because that would have been bad news for the lisianthus. All right, we're down here. We've accepted defeat on the slow cooker working, but we have had it off, fridge just closed. It's still very humid in there, and with no heat, it's like 65. So we really don't need much heat going in here for these to do their magic. The onions look like they're starting to germinate. We didn't completely fry them and cook them when we got it up to 60 degrees Celsius in there. So I think they need a couple more hours before we have to get them out and get them under lights. So this is a perfect chance to try our second attempt on how to heat this germination chamber a little bit more accurately. What we've done is we've gone and we've bought ourselves an aquarium heater. These you can adjust the temperature on it. They are designed to function in humid spaces. And so we're gonna stick this into the water and then we're gonna play around with this and see if we can get, you know, a nice steady 75 going. So then we can start experimenting with those lisianthus.
Did you turn it on?
No, we have to plug it in. Plug it in?
I plugged it in. Look, you can see.
Okay.
Give it a couple hours and...
Germination chamber calibration attempt number 2.
Okay, it's a few hours later and it's moment of truth time. Okay. It doesn't feel like before when we opened it up, it actually felt like an oven, and it doesn't feel like an oven right now, so that's good. Let's see what the temperature is. It's about what it was before. The water down here is definitely feeling warm, so it is getting warmed by the heater, but I bet we're gonna have to turn it up a little bit to have kind of like an effect in the whole area, or we're just gonna have to kind of like let it run consistently to get that temperature up. So we're not quite fully calibrated yet, but I think we're getting really close, and we're definitely on the safer side of the temperature range. What do you think, Bo? I just turned it up. Let's give it a couple more hours. I'll come back and I'll check the temperature again. We're getting closer, but we're not there yet. Oh, I heard you have to catnip.
If this isn't properly calibrated, now I have no idea how to make this system work. Oh, it's feeling steamy. Not steamy. Let me rephrase that. Humid. Okay, and let's see this. Oh, you guys! 70 degrees. That is exactly what we're going for. And I think that we might actually have some germination on these onions too. All right, this is gonna be very subtle and very hard to spot, but right here, you can see there's something happening. And that means that the rest of, or nothing's happening, is going to be ready to pop soon. So I might as well pull them out and get them under some light. Under the lights. Now we wait. Experiment done, and now the most exciting part of all. We start those lisianthus. What do you think of my mat, Sam?
Good.
Is it soft?
Yeah.
It's a little bed for you.
Huh.
So you can come and take naps.
In the elbow?
Yeah.